Sup peeps? Um, just here to give you a quick update on my thoughts on the Leicester situation. Obviously, with back-to-back victories, both 3-1 against Liverpool and then subsequently Hull. I personally think that the sacking of Ranieri, in hindsight, probably, even though it was the cruel decision to make, perhaps it was justified because it seems like it was simply just tactics and formations and direction that were the issue, and it wasn't the effort that the players were putting in, because they seemed to be far more comfortable during the Liverpool game, and I heard the whole game on 5 Live while I was over in South Uist on the Western Isles, and I got a sense that there's this. There was a little bit of a scare at the beginning when, ironically, Hull scored using Leicester's own counter-attacking system of football, but we managed to knock 3 more goals in. Vardy scored one, Mara scored one, and then Ndidi scored one. Although I wasn't sure, because I've not checked whether it was an own goal or whether it was indeed Ndidi who scored it. But either way, Craig Shakespeare has been named as his successor currently, at least until summer. And I back-to-back victories, it's kind of a no-brainer, really. Get him in, because he's playing the way that because the problem was with Ranieri is during the and this is an interesting theory, I think. The reason for, it's clear to see. There are people who are saying that there was a revolt with the players and they tried to get him. There was a coup d'état, and they tried to get him out. But I honestly don't think that's the case. It does seem like the tactics weren't working, and my thoughts behind it are the possibility could have been the reason why he decided to change tactics for the Premier League matches and the FA Cup as well, to a certain extent, certainly with the Millwall game. Although I think that was more to do with him not putting an overly large level of importance over it. But with the Premier League, I think the reason why we were chopping and changing so much was because everyone had sussed us out. And he thought, right, we need to play a different system of football because everyone's expecting us to get them on the counter-attack, so they're going to try to negate that by defending harder or whatever. So, as a result, they decided to experiment, and it really didn't go well at all. However, with the Champions League, they kind of stuck to the same system, which to an extent I think was because Ranieri thought, well, the Premier League teams have sussed us out, but we've not played anyone in Europe yet. Well, except for the pre-season stuff against Celtic, PSG and Barcelona. But apart from that, the European teams haven't sussed us out yet because they've not played us. So therefore, they won't be expecting it so much. even though they would have seen video clips of us knocking goals in the back of the net whilst they were clamouring to get back to the defence area and failing. But, I think that's possibly why. And there was a clear shift in the Sevilla game and at half time, and honestly, I don't know if we would have stayed up with Claudio. It's possible we could have got 17th or something, but the way it's going, I think that we could possibly get top half, either 10th or better, which would be fantastic. And with the way things are going, with Man United winning the League Cup, and I'm kind of hoping they win the FA Cup as well, and the Europa League, because then that will mean that there'll be two extra... Wait, no. There'll be... two extra Europa League spots and one extra Champions League spot. So if that happens, if, then the top 10 are all going to be in Europe. Top 5 Champions League, and then the other 5 Europa League, which would be really awesome. It'd be quite funny if Arsenal finish outside the top 4 and still get Champions League football, but I digress. So it would be really great if us, along with West Brom probably, and I don't know, probably Stoke will be the other side, but with Gabbiadini, Southampton are looking pretty tasty, so who knows, they might get a top 10 spot. Realistically, I think we'll finish 12th or around between 10 and 12, I think, which is far better than the previous result of 14th, I think, the season before last, obviously. But I think we're going to pull through. It's looking rather likely that Bournemouth might end up in the relegation zone, which would be very sad because I like Eddie Howe, but what can you do? So that would be a shame, but I'm not going to put too much importance over that because, and Swansea, they're flying high at the moment. There's no way they're going to go down, and I'm glad because it's nice to have a bit of variety in there. It's nice to have a Welsh team. Incidentally, for another video, I may talk about the idea of introducing Scottish teams to the Premier League, which some people, not the Premier League, but the English League, and just changing it to the British League, because it's not really the English League anyway, because there are teams from Wales in there as well, being Cardiff, Swansea, Wrexham, I think, and is it Newport? I don't know. But when you have Welsh teams in there, so yeah, it'd be interesting to have your Celtics, your Rangers, your Aberdeens, your Hibs, Hearts in the mix as well. Because to be honest, I think that no matter what anyone says, if Celtic and Rangers had the money that the other teams in the Premier League have, then they would get, top 10 every season, I think. I think Celtic could always be guaranteed a top 10 spot. No, even as they're playing at the moment with the lack of finance that they have, I mean, compared to the rest of the teams in the SPFL, it's astronomical, the difference. But when you compare to the Premier League, they're kind of like the finances they have are relatively meagre. But yeah, so enough of that. I'm going, and I'll see you on the flip side. I'll be doing a kind of a post-match analysis of the Sevilla game next week. So, bye.